Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is March 18th, 2025, and we do have a positive update in regards to Casado's injury. Also, La Liga's president Javier Tebas has issued yet another statement, and this time it concerns Florentino Perez's involvement in the registrations of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. And finally, Barcelona's lawyers have found some ground to base their appeal in regards to the scheduling of the Barcelona versus Osasuna match. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin this video with some positive news because we do have an update in regards to the injury of Casado. Now, Casado played 40 minutes with discomfort during the Barcelona victory over Atletico Madrid during that epic comeback that Barcelona mounted. And after the match, Casado did undergo medical exams that revealed that he did have an injury to the ligament in his right knee. And of course, Barcelona doctors feared that Casado could have torn his ligament, which meant that he will be out for many months. But now we do have a positive update from Barcelona after Casado underwent more exams today. And this is what the club had to say. This morning, further tests have been carried out on first-team player Casado, and it has been confirmed that he has a partial rupture of the external lateral ligament of the right knee. The player will undergo conservative treatment and is expected to be out for around 2 months. So definitely good news because it seems that Casado has not fully ruptured his ligament in the knee. It's only a partial rupture, and this is good news because it means he's only gonna be out for 2 months. Because of course, if it would have been a complete rupture, it would have meant that Casado would have had to undergo surgery and he would have been out 9 months, maybe a full year. As we know, torn ligaments means very long recovery roads. We saw it with Gabi. We're seeing it with Marc Bernal. We're seeing it with Mark Ter Stegen. But hopefully that's not the case with Casado. It's only a partial rupture, so he will be out only for 2 months. Now, of course, that's still bad news, but nonetheless, it's much better than Casado being out for almost a year. And it also means that Casado could be back by the end of the season, which is when things, of course, will get very competitive for Barcelona if they're still alive in all the competition. So definitely positive news on that front. And from Casado, we move on to Inigo Martinez, who also suffered an injury after the match against Atletico Madrid. He too has an injury to his right knee. It's not as serious as Casado, thank God. He's only going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. But the news is that, of course, the mainstream media in Spain has already began attacking Inigo Martinez, saying that he's faking the injury, that Barcelona doctors are faking the injury, that he's just doing this to get out of the international break. The usual Madrid-based media crap that they try to pull whenever a Barcelona player does something or says something. They always have to find a way to turn it into a bad thing. But thankfully, the Spanish national football team does have a captain with brains, right? Not like many of this mainstream media, because Unai Simón, the captain of the Spanish national team, immediately came to the defense of Inigo Martinez, saying the following: I haven't spoken to him, but I think it's wrong to question a player like Inigo Martinez. If the club has issued a medical report confirming his injury, it's disrespectful not to believe the player and to put Barcelona's medical staff in doubt. He was eager to join the squad, but he couldn't due to his injury. A teammate like him doesn't deserve this kind of disrespect. So bravo, Unai Simón. I was going to say Unai Hernandez. Unai Simón, for defending your fellow teammate Inigo Martinez and for putting a stop to all this nonsense that comes out of mainstream media in Spain, because it is disrespectful to not only doubt the player but also doubt Barcelona's medical staff. When Real Madrid players get injured, oh, it's an injury, it's unfortunate. But apparently, when Barcelona players get injured, oh, they're faking it, right? Just like Dani Olmo just like Andreas Christensen faked his injury to allow for the registration of Dani Olmo. Because, yeah, that's what players do, right? They finally get a big chance to play for their national team, and they fake injury to avoid it. Or in the case of Christensen, yeah, he's going to miss the entire first half of the season just to allow another player to play in his place. That makes total sense, right? But anyways, now from one clown, we go to another, and the first clown being the mainstream Spanish media. Now we move on to the second clown, which is Javier Tebas, La Liga's president, who once again has issued a statement regarding Barcelona. This guy cannot stop talking about Barcelona. If he's not tweeting about Barcelona, he is talking to media outlets about Barcelona. This guy dreams, eats, drinks, sleeps Barcelona. All he thinks about is Barcelona. And this time, once again, he talked about Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, but it's in regards to Florentino Perez's involvement in their registration. Now, if you don't know by now what's going on, as you know, Dani Olmo and Pau Victor's registration was canceled after Barcelona failed to reach the 1-1 rule before December 31st. Of course, Barcelona did complete the sale of the VIP or rights to the VIP seats at Spotify Camp Nou for 100 million euros. They submitted the paperwork before the deadline of December 31st. La Liga did not accept it. They wanted proof of payment. The proof of payment did come, but it came after the December 31st deadline. So, of course, Dani Olmo and Pau Victor were deregistered, and Barcelona filed a lawsuit with the CSD. And while the lawsuit is being handled by the court issued temporary registrations for Pau Victor and Dani Olmo, which are set to expire in April. And while recently it was discovered that Florentino Perez actually made a call to the president of the CSD to try to push through these temporary registrations. And while now Javier Tebas has come out in opposition to this move by the Real Madrid president by saying the following: no spokesperson is going to deny the report that FP intervened, Florentino Perez, of course, intervened with the CSD to have FC Barcelona's appeal upheld. And pay attention, because he himself commented on the matter during the Super Cup final, according to the news. If this were true, we would be dealing with a very serious issue. So Javier Tebas is concerned that Florentino Perez has not denied the reports that he was involved in pushing through the registrations of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, and he's even saying that the press had reported that Florentino Perez admitted. Of course, he did it. What he's referring to is a footage that after Barcelona won the Spanish Super Cup, Florentino Perez was there congratulating the Barcelona players, and when it came the turn of Dani Olmo, they stopped, they talked for 30 seconds, and the media has assumed that conversation involved Florentino Perez telling Dani Olmo, hey, I helped you out, what do you think about that? And Dani Olmo told him, thank you. Of course, there's no confirmation of that, but Javier Tebas seems to be concerned that Florentino Perez was trying to help Barcelona. And while Mr. Tebas, that's because Florentino Perez understands something that you seem to forget, which is that La Liga needs both Barcelona and Real Madrid to be competitive. Without these two teams, La Liga would not be the league that it is. Without these two teams, El Clásico match would not be the most watched match in the entire world. And for the sake of La Liga's TV rights, for the sake of La Liga's TV viewership, for the sake of La Liga's profits, you need both Barcelona and Real Madrid to be competitive, something that Florentino Perez understands. But you, Javier Tebas, the president of La Liga, seem to forget. And it's your job to protect La Liga. But yet you seem to forget that the reason why people watch La Liga is FC Barcelona and Real Madrid. So hopefully this reminds you of that. But of course, I doubt it, because you're too busy tweeting and you're too busy talking shit about Madrid and Barcelona, your two biggest money generators in the league that you lead as a president. Anyways, let's move on to more ridiculous shit happening in the Spanish league, because as you know, the Royal Spanish Football Federation has decided that the postponed match between Barcelona and Osasuna will be played on March 27th, immediately after the FIFA international break. Of course, Barcelona has decided to file an appeal because they're going to be without two of their most important players. Of course, Rafinha, who has a match on March 25th against Argentina, and Araujo, who has a match on the 26th against Bolivia. Not enough time for both players to travel back to Spain, recover, and be ready for this match. And of course, Osasuna have a match the following day on the 28th against Athletic Club de Bilbao. Absolutely moronic decision by the Royal Spanish Football Federation to schedule the match on that day. So, of course, Barcelona and Osasuna are both going to appeal this decision. And it's been revealed that Barcelona's attorneys have found a way or grounds for this appeal, besides, of course, the players' health and recovery time. But one of the grounds they have found is that the rule that the Royal Spanish Football Federation relied on to issue this decision, it's actually not a rule. It's not written anywhere. It's simply an agreement between both La Liga and the Royal Spanish Football Federation. So, in other words, it's not binding. So that's what part of the argument will be when Barcelona files its appeal. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, these attorneys deserve a raise because they've been doing some pretty great work finding loopholes in La Liga's rules. And this, of course, has pissed off Javier Tebas. But Tebas, F you, I don't really care if you're pissed off. Now, there is a way that Araujo and Rafinha could participate in the match against Osasuna, even if it stays on the 27th. And that's through yellow cards, because in the World Cup qualifiers in South America, after 2 yellow cards, you do receive a match suspension. Rafinha currently has 3 yellow cards. So if he receives a yellow card against Colombia on March 20th, he would miss the match against Argentina on March 25th. Same thing with Araujo. He's 1 yellow card away from suspension. So if he receives a yellow card against Argentina on March 23rd, he would miss the match against Bolivia on March 26th. But of course, we're talking about 2 professional players. They're not going to get yellow cards on purpose. I mean, they could end up getting yellow cards, but I don't see any of them doing this on purpose, especially Rafinha, because Brazil is currently sitting 5th on the table of qualifications. So I'm sure he's going to want to be there for the Argentina match, especially since, well, it's a Clásico in South America. Now, we will end this video with the statement of the president of the Spanish Footballers Association, David Agnaso, because he too has joined Barcelona and Osasuna in their protest against the decision to schedule the match on March 27th. And this is what he said. Out of common sense and for the well-being of the players, it would be a much better option to play between the penultimate and final match days. Players' health must be respected. So it seems that the president of the Spanish Football Association is missing a very key thing, and this is where he errs when it comes to his statement. He says, out of common sense. Mr. Agnaso, the Royal Spanish Football Federation, La Liga, have no common sense. It's ran by morons, by idiots, and by incompetent people. So I think that's where he erred in his statement. He assumed that those people in charge actually have common sense. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be uploading another video after this one, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.